Welcome to today's digital classes. Children, today you will learn some of the key concepts of biology from classes 8th and 9th. By learning these key concepts, you will be able to easily understand the biology concepts in 10th class. So, today's topic is cell, tissues, their structure and functions they perform. So, children, by hearing the words cell and tissues, you must have recalled some concepts. So, let us move on to our topic. Children, think over these questions. All living organisms are made up of what? How is the structure of cell and tissues? What functions do different types of tissues perform? Children, all organisms, amoeba, bacteria, animals, human, plants and trees are all made up of cells. Not only the structure of these animals is made up of cells, but also functions pertaining to these organisms also occur in cells. That is why cell is called as the structural and functional unit of organisms. Some organisms are made up of only one cell. These are called as unicellular organisms. For example, amoeba, chlamydomonas, paramecium. Some other organisms are made up of more than one cell. These are called as multicellular organisms like plants, trees, animals, human, all these are multicellular organisms. Now children, do you remember this picture? Yes, it is the onion peel cells seen under the compound microscope. You can see here cells are compactly arranged and are roughly rectangular in shape. Cells have three main parts. The membrane which is covering the cell is called as cell membrane or plasma membrane. The fluid which is filled in the cell is called as cytoplasm, and the distinct round structure which you can see in the middle of the cell is called as nucleus. This is the cell. The membrane covering the cell is called as cell membrane. The fluid inside the cell is the cytoplasm, and in the middle round structure you can see nucleus. Now, let us learn about eukaryotic cell and prokaryotic cell. Eukaryotic cell. In eukaryotic cell, nucleus is covered by the nuclear membrane. These type of cells are seen in plants and animals. Prokaryotic cell. In prokaryotic cell, nucleus is not bound by the nuclear membrane. Genetic material is free in the cytoplasm. These type of cells are seen in bacteria. Cell has cell organelles within it which perform different life processes. Cell organelles are endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi complex, ribosomes, lysosomes, vacuoles, mitochondria, chloroplast. Now children, let us learn about the structure and functions these cell organelles perform in detail. Observe this diagram of the cell. Here you can see the endoplasmic reticulum near to the nucleus. Endoplasmic reticulum. Endoplasmic reticulum is an organelle with large network of membranes bound tubules and tubes. Some sections of the endoplasmic reticulum has ribosomes on it. Just observe here, these are the small granules which are called ribosomes. Such sections are called as rough endoplasmic reticulum. The function of rough endoplasmic reticulum is protein synthesis. Endoplasmic reticulum, some sections do not have ribosomes on it. Observe here, it is called smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Smooth endoplasmic reticulum helps in manufacture of fat molecules or lipids. Endoplasmic reticulum serves as channels for the transport of materials, mainly proteins, between various regions of the cytoplasm or between cytoplasm and the nucleus. Now, observe here, this is the organelle Golgi complex. Golgi complex was first observed by Camillo Golgi. It is the organelle with several membranes which create sac-like structures around which many fluid-filled vesicles abound. These are the fluid-filled vesicles. Golgi complex stores various substances before they are transported to cell membrane or lysosomes. After these substances are transported to the cell membrane, they are secreted or they help in repair of the cell membrane. Now, ribosomes. As we have seen earlier, ribosomes are present on the rough endoplasmic reticulum here. And also they are present in the cytoplasm freely. Ribosomes help in protein synthesis. Lysosomes. Lysosomes are the tiny particles in cytoplasm. They contain destructive enzymes, means the substances which are to be destructed are digested in the lysosomes. Lysosomes are also called as suicidal bags of the cell. This is the mitochondria. Mitochondria are small spherical or cylindrical organelles. These have double membrane. See here, this is the outer membrane and this is the inner membrane. The inner membrane protrudes into the center and forms folds like structures. See here, you can see the folds. These folds are called as cristae, and the space between these cristae is filled with the matrix. In mitochondria, cellular respiration occurs. By cellular respiration, the cell receives the energy to perform all the functions of the cell. That is why mitochondria are called as powerhouses of the cell. Now, vacuoles. Vacuoles are fluid filled sac like structures. Vacuoles maintain turgor pressure within the cell, export unwanted substances from the cell. Now, here you can observe one more organelle, green in color, chloroplast. Chloroplasts are in different shapes. They are in disc, oval, ladder shaped, star or spirally coiled. The main function of the chloroplast is to trap energy from sunlight and transform into chemical energy by process photosynthesis. Now, children, observe here, this is the plant cell and this is the animal cell. In plant cell, we are seeing chloroplast, vacuoles. In animal cell, chloroplasts are not there. Vacuoles are seen, but are very small. And observe here, in plant cell, outermost layer of the cell is cell membrane, you know that, and in plant cell one more membrane covers this cell membrane. It is called as cell wall. This cell wall is not seen in the animal cell. In animal cell there are centrioles, but in plant cell centrioles are not there. We have seen that organisms are made up of cells. Now children, we know that animals and plants are made up of cells. Now let us see, are there any differences between animal cell and plant cell? In plant cell, one more membrane is there covering cell membrane, it is called cell wall. In animal cell, cell wall is absent. In plant cell, chloroplasts are present. In animal cell, chloroplasts are absent. In plant cell, they have big vacuoles. Animal cell have small vacuoles. In plant cell, centrioles are absent. In animal cell, centrioles are present. Now children, think, where do cells come from? This is a scientist called Schleiden. He is a botanist. He observed many plant cells. One more scientist, Schwann, he is zoologist. He observed many animal cells. By the observations made by them, they have together formulated cell theory. According to cell theory, all living organisms are composed of cells and product of cells. All cells arise from pre-existing cells. Organisms possess different kinds of cells according to the functions they perform. In human body, different kinds of cells are seen like blood cells, muscle cells, nerve cells, bone cells. In the similar way, plants also are made up of different kinds of cells. Cells are seen in groups. Groups of cells which have similar structure and function are called as tissues. Here you can see a tissue. Now, let us see about the plant tissue and animal tissues. First, we will learn about plant tissues. Plant tissues majorly are of 4 types: meristematic tissue, dermal tissue, ground tissue and vascular tissue. Now, children, see this picture of TS of dicot stem. Meristematic tissue is seen in the regions of growth. Dermal tissue is seen as the outer layer of the plant body, and ground tissue forms the major part of the plant body and it gives mechanical support to the plant body, and vascular tissue helps in the transport of food and water. Now, first let us see about the meristematic tissue. Types of meristematic tissue. There are 3 types of meristematic tissue. Apical meristem. This tissue is present at the growing tip that brings about growth in length. See, apical meristem is present at the tip of the stem and also tip of the roots. This brings about the growth of the stem and growth of the root. Now, lateral meristem. These tissues are present around the edges in the lateral manner, see here, and giving rise to the growth in the girth of stem. Girth of stem means this widening of the stem. Now, intercalary meristem. These tissues are present in the areas from which branching takes place, like a new leaf, a flower or a stalk grows. Here you can see the intercalary meristems. Here in where the new branching takes place, intercalary meristem tissue is seen. Now, The second type of tissue in the plant tissues is dermal tissue. Dermal tissue in the stem, see outer layer of the stem, this layer protects the plant body. Dermal tissue in the leaf has small openings, this is called as stomata. It is guarded by the guard cell, these green cells you can see, guard cells. These guard cells help in opening and closing of stomata. This stomata help in transpiration and exchange of gases. Dermal tissue in roots has some specialized cells called root hairs. These root hairs help in absorption of water. Now, let us move on to the third tissue, that is ground tissue. Ground tissue is of three types: parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. Now, observe children, parenchyma, the cells are thin walled and they are loosely arranged. We can see intercellular spaces in it. Collenchyma is having thick walls, some cellular spaces are seen and they are somewhat long than parenchyma cells. In sclerenchyma, they are thick walled and intercellular spaces are absent. Now, again parenchyma is of three types: chlorenchyma, parenchyma and storage parenchyma. Chlorenchyma has chloroplasts in it. So, these help in the photosynthesis. This tissue is present in all the green parts of the plant. Parenchyma has air cavities or spaces, see here. This type of tissues is present in the plants which float on water like lotus. Storage tissue has the cells that store water, waste materials and food. So, this type of cells like you can see in potato. Now, let us move on to the fourth tissue, that is vascular tissue. Vascular tissue is of two types. Now, observe this TS of stem here. You can see the some cells in the colored portion, these are called as the xylem tissue, and the cells near to this xylem are called as the phloem. Now, observe here, xylem tissue helps in the transport of water from roots to the other parts of the plant, and phloem helps the transport of food materials from leaf to other parts of the plant. So, mainly this vascular tissue helps in the transport of water and salts and food materials. Now, a process called osmosis plays an important role in absorption of water through roots in plants. Now, we will see what is osmosis. Osmosis is the movement of water from less solute concentration to more solute concentration across a permeable membrane. Let us do a simple activity to know about osmosis. Take one raw potato and peel the outer layer and make a cup shaped like this by removing the pulp. Prepare the sugar solution by dissolving the sugar in some water and pour the sugar solution into the potato cup, and to know the level insert a needle, and into the plate pour some plain water. So, children, now you can see in plate we have less concentrated solution and in the potato we have more concentrated solution. So, the water molecules move from less concentration to more concentration solution, that is here the cell membrane of the potato cells act as the permeable membrane. You can see the raised level in the potato. There are other processes by which substances move in a medium. Diffusion. Diffusion, the process by which some materials when kept in medium like air and water, spread equally throughout is called diffusion. Now, we shall learn about the animal tissues. Animal tissues are of 4 types: epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscle tissue and nervous tissue. First, we will learn about the epithelial tissue. This epithelial tissue covers all the internal body parts and outer part of animals. This is again of types squamous epithelium. Here you can see the cells are thin and flat. So, this squamous epithelium is seen in esophagus, lining of the mouth, blood vessels and alveoli. Another type of epithelium tissue is cuboidal epithelium. Here you can observe the cells are cuboid shape. This cuboid epithelium is seen in the lining of organs or tubules like in ureters. Stratified squamous epithelium. This is nothing but squamous epithelium seen in the layers, in many layers. This type of tissue is seen in skin. Columnar epithelium. Here you can see the cells are elongated. This columnar epithelium are seen in the areas where absorption and secretion is seen, like in intestine. Glandular epithelium. This is seen in places where secretions occur, like in glands, like in salivary glands. Now, the second type of tissue, connective tissue. The internal organs are located at specific spaces without any displacement in organs due to connective tissue. There are different types of connective tissues. First, you can see areolar tissue. Areolar tissue joins different tissues. Now, the second tissue is adipose tissue. In this tissue, fat is stored. This type of tissue is found under the skin. Now, third one is bone. Bone is also a connective tissue. In bone, osteocytes or bone cells are seen. This form the framework that supports the body. Cartilage. Cartilage is not hard as bone, but it is found in joints of bones, tip of ribs, tip of nose, external ear and trachea. Now, ligament and tendon. Ligament connects the joints and holds them in position. This ligament is seen in between the two bones, like here you can see in between the two bones ligament is present, and tendon is seen between bone and muscles. This is the tendon. Blood is also a connective tissue, but it is present in the form of the fluid. So, this tissue is called as the fluid connective tissue. Blood has 3 types of cells: red blood cells, white blood cells and blood platelets. Now, all these 3 types of cell are seen floating in the blood plasma like this. Blood groups. Karl Landsteiner first found blood groups in humans. In humans, majorly 4 blood groups are found. They are A, B, AB and O. The persons having AB blood group are called as universal recipients, and the persons having O blood group are called as universal donors. Now, the third type of tissue is muscle tissue. See, in our body many muscles are seen, no? All these muscles are made up of muscle tissues. Muscle tissues are of 3 types: striated muscles, non-striated muscles, cardiac muscles. Now, To know more about this muscle tissue, watch this video. Muscle tissue. This muscular tissue is found in the muscles in the body. Muscles are responsible for the movements like movements of hands and legs, and also several internal organs such as intestine and heart. We can move some muscles by our conscious effort, like muscles in limbs. There are striated muscles, also called voluntary muscles, like muscles in upper chest, shoulder, hands, legs. Some movements like in intestine are not in our control. Non-striated muscles are found here, also called involuntary muscles, like muscles in esophagus, stomach, intestine, uterus and bronchi. Cardiac muscles present in heart. They are responsible for pumping of blood. Though these muscles resemble striated muscles in structure, but show involuntary movements like non-striated muscles. Now, let us see about the fourth tissue in the animal tissues, that is nervous tissue. Nervous tissue is found in brain, nerves in the body. These have nerve cells. These nerve cells can receive and analyze and send the information. Now, children, you have learnt about cell, cell organelles, tissues, and again in tissues about plant tissues and animal tissues, and also their function and their structure. Now, let us summarize and see some of the important points. All living organisms are made up of cells. Cell mainly has parts cell membrane, cytoplasm and nucleus. Organisms having only one cell are called unicellular organisms. Organisms having more than one cell are called multicellular organisms. Cell organelles in cell perform different life processes. Mitochondria produces the energy needed for the cell. Chloroplast converts solar energy into chemical energy by process called photosynthesis. Plant tissues are of four types: meristematic tissue, dermal tissue, ground tissue and vascular tissue. In vascular tissue, xylem helps in transport of water and phloem helps in transport of food material. Animal tissue is mainly of four types: epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscle tissue and nervous tissue. Connective tissue is of different types like areolar tissue, adipose tissue, bone, cartilage, ligament, tendon, blood. Blood is fluid connective tissue. It contains red blood cells, white blood cells and blood platelets which float freely in blood plasma. Now, coming to the evaluation. First one, draw and label the diagram of TS of dicot stem showing different plant tissues. What are types of vascular tissues and the functions they perform? Mention any 3 cell organelles and the functions they perform. Write postulates of cell theory. Name the different organelles present in cell. Give examples for unicellular and multicellular organisms. Compare plant cell with animal cell. Explain about connective tissue. So, children, we shall meet with another concept in another digital class. Thank you.